Hi everyone, this is the Big Machines channel. So, I want to make a video about how to adjust the valves on a ZIL 130 engine, but basically the ZIL 130 engine and the ZMZ 511 engine are similar. They have the same valve adjustment, so you can use this video for adjusting the valves on a ZIL 130 as well as for adjusting the valves on a GAZ 53 engines. From the Spazic, from the Gazan, and the ZMZ 511. That means both engines have the same firing order. Here it says 154, 200, 263, 78. The Gazan engine is exactly the same, so you can watch this video for either engine. So what do we need to do? We need to bring the first cylinder to top dead center, compression. Here's how we do it. Here we have the exhaust valve, here is the intake valve. Right now, after turning it, the intake valve is pressed down, so we keep turning it clockwise. After the intake valve has operated the intake, we catch the top dead center on this cylinder. We can see that the valve is now closed, and now we turn it about half a turn more and catch the piston at top dead center. So that means for this, we can even take a feeler gauge like this, insert it. Here we see the piston. It's right at its top dead center. So now we have the first cylinder set, right? Compression at top dead center. But I've already adjusted it. We take a 0.35 gauge and check. Like this, it should go through with a little resistance. That's it. The first cylinder is adjusted. Next, so what did I do? I don't have the pulleys installed yet, so I made these marks, meaning this is my first cylinder. That's how it works. And so I marked it at 90 degrees on one side and on the other side. If the pulleys are installed, it's more convenient there. You can mark it right on the pulley. So since our engine is an 8-cylinder crankshaft, its journals are positioned at a 90-degree angle. Now we take the wrench and turn it from this mark to the next one. We rotate the engine by 90 degrees. Also, something like this. So this was our first cylinder. The firing order is 154. So now after the first, we adjust 5 and then 150. Here we can see the piston has also reached top dead center. And now we check the valves. We inspect both of them at once to see if one of them is tight. So with a 14mm wrench we loosen the lock nut, and with an 11mm wrench we adjust and turn it, and the feeler gauge goes in with a slight resistance. That's it. Now we tighten the lock nut. So after that we check with the feeler gauge, turn the rod a few times, check again, turn it, check again. This is to avoid any misalignment on a bent rod. Everything is fine. And then we tighten it for good. Here's something else I want to say. Be sure to take a hammer before making any adjustments. with light taps, go over the adjustment screw and the caramel itself with light taps. This is done so that if there's any scale or debris, it settles into place. Because if you adjust it without tapping, the gap might get thrown off. Then I already tapped it, so everything is fine for me. For this one, the one we have, so my control, we loosen it, and the rod, on the contrary, we tighten it. If you over tightened it, we loosen it. So here we have 0.35 hours. This is how we do everything and check the controls. Again, the result on the rod is a bit weak, so now we'll turn both screws in the adjustment lock nut one more time. Well, let's leave the exhaust like this, but you can adjust it more freely. The intake valves can be made a bit tighter, but not completely. Here we see the rocker arms. Yes, this is the exhaust valve, so you can make it a bit looser so the feeler gauge slides in more easily without much effort. The intake can be made a bit tighter. That's the sound we get. So now all 5 cylinders are ready. Next, let's look at our marks again. We turn the engine another 90 degrees. Or something like that. So now we have 150, 4, 5. We'll adjust so we have 4. Our spark plug is screwed in. We can be sure that the piston is at top dead center, so everything is the same. We loosen the lock nuts. We hold it. The valve, I was lapping the cylinder heads here. I did both heads, the valves and the reaming, so I replaced the guides. That's why the clearances can be anything right now. The push rods got swapped around, and maybe the rocker arms weren't in their original places. So we also tighten it up and secure it. Check the push rod to make sure everything's fine and control it all the way to the stop. Next, I'll repeat, the engine is from a GAZ 53. The adjustment procedure is exactly the same. The clearances are exactly the same, 0.3, 0.35, and the firing order is exactly the same. Of course, there's also a way to adjust it in 2 turns. You can adjust any engine in 2 turns. Well, I don't use it. It's not easier for me, but to each their own. And we secure it. Well, here are 4 and so on. I'll repeat, the order of work is written here on the plate. 15 4 200 263 78, meaning I turn the crankshaft 590 degrees 154 200. I adjust the second cylinder and so on. I won't record the whole procedure. Everything else is the same, following the firing order. That's it. This is my video. Thanks for watching. Good luck to all. Goodbye.